Hello, everybody. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and I'm very, very happy to welcome you into this new series, Transform series, here with my soul sister Meg. And so this one is called the new ASTRO. So these are going to be the predictions, the astrological predictions for the month of August for the 12 zodiac signs. So we brought this for free to YouTube and Rumble in order to thank everybody for your amazing support, for all this amazing, wonderful community of Beyond Mystic and Maison Jupiter. So thank you so much, everybody. And we want to make sure that everybody's able to get the full benefits of really knowing the sacred knowledge of astrology and how it can affect your own birth chart. So that's the goal here. How are you, Meg? Welcome to the show. And what do you think about this new format for the Astro?
Yeah, thank you. It's so good to be here with you and all of our soul family out there. And I'm really, really excited for this new show and for us to be able to share it with everyone because, like you said, this is our sacred astrological information. And we're going to be talking about, some of the main monthly transits, but also for each sun, moon, and rising, what to be aware of. And we're in such pivotal times right now that it's important for us to get this information out there to as many people as possible. So we're really excited to share with it, you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. We'll try to put, as usual, some of your comments on the screen. Thank you, Libby. Good vibes and lots of love for Megan, Julie, and everyone. Lots of love to you back. Thank you, Libby. So yes, please like, of course, this video if you enjoyed this type of content, both on the Maison Jupiter channel and on the Beyond Mystic channel, where we are simulcasting at the moment. We're live. And yes, and of course, also don't forget to subscribe to both channels because we always try to produce a lot of original content on both channels. And your support means a lot to us. So thank you in advance. And today we'll be giving one beautiful magnolia candle from the Maison Jupiter website from the Beyond Mystic element collection. So Elena makes those candles by hand. So this is a handmade, beautiful product, very high quality. And there's one candle for every of the 4 elements. And this one is the air candle. It's magnolia fragrance. This is my favorite fragrance, beautiful. And the crystal is emerald calcite. So very good for everything that's going on with all the relationship emphasis right now in the astrology with Venus retrograde. So we'll be giving one beautiful air candle away to one of you supporters here today from the super chat. So thank you in advance. And before we dive in the amazing content, I will just like to remember here that you can also book a one-on-one consultation with the beautiful Meg right here. That's on the maisonjupiter.com website. And of course, don't forget to enter Beyond Mystic at checkout to get your 10% off for your next booking with Meg. So of course, these are going to be more general predictions for the rising sign and sun signs. But if you'd like to get even more, let's see, personalized predictions, you can go ahead and book a one-on-one consultation with Meg right now.
Awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Julie, that I just got back to Canada and I was able to get stuff from my mailbox. And thank you so much for giving me the degrees book.
Yay.
That made my day yesterday. And I also got candles that I ordered from Elena. And I've been burning is it the vanilla tobacco or something?
Yeah, this is the fire candle. Yeah.
I love it. It is so good. So awesome job, Elena, on the candles. They're so good.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Meg. And yeah, I'm in the midst of reading the same book that I gifted you. It's amazing. You're going to be mind blown. So yes, love it. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot for this month. First of all, I made a slide with all the important dates, so I'll just go through that with you. But before we do so, Meg, usually you use the expression retrograde city when we talk about this type of situation. So can you explain what you mean with this retrograde city expression?
So, as you were saying before we got on, Julie and I were talking with each other about how by the end of the month, 7 planets are going to be retrograde. So we're entering retrograde city, where that's like an astrological fun expression when tons of planets are retrograde. And interesting that Mars and Jupiter will not be retrograde. So Mars is going to be
Mm,
direct, and Mars is the ruler of the North Node right now. So that's a little bit interesting. We'll
yeah.
see how that feels. So I feel like it's normal when we have so many planets retrograde, when we're in retrograde city. If we feel a little bit off, if we feel a little bit discombobulated, overwhelmed energetically, it's totally normal, because when planets are retrograde, they're closer to the Earth. So their influences can be greater felt, and it can be very intense. As well as I'm sure you may talk about, Julie, we're having 3 lunations this month. So
Yes.
this is high emotions, um, very passionate new moon in Leo on August 16th. I think it's a lot going on, like you said.
Yeah, so we're gonna get through all this amazing content with you, the 3 lunations, the retrogrades, what it means for the world in general, but we're gonna focus more on personal astrology today. So what does it mean for us human beings in our personal lives? And then we'll get to the 12 sign prediction, so sign by sign, and you can look at your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. So, yes, lots to talk about. Let's begin. So, I made this beautiful slide here. So, August will be still in Leo season for the most part of August. And then, as of August 23rd, we'll dive in Virgo season. Yay! My one of my favorite season because it's my birthday season. And at the same time as the sun enters the constellation of Virgo on August 23rd, we'll also have Mercury, the ruling planet of Virgo, going retrograde. So Mercury retrograde will be retrograde for the most part of Virgo season. So that's going to be interesting. It's not all bad. So we just need to, let's say, channel the energy in the best way possible for our highest good. So I think this content is going to help you on how to direct those astrological energies and how it could be, let's say, channeled in the best way for your highest good possible. So August 1st, so that's today. Happy month of August, everybody. We're having today a full moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. And of course, we're going to talk about it even more tonight on our Divine Feminine Oracle show. So we're going to focus more on this full moon. And then on August 13, we have what we call a Venus Cazimi. So the Sun and Venus will get into a conjunction. So at the same degree from our viewpoint on Earth. So Meg is going to talk about that for what it means for the 12 signs. And then mid-August on the 16th, we're going to have a beautiful new moon in the sign of Leo. And I put here the degrees of every lunation so you can look at your own birth chart and see where it falls in what house, because we're going to go generally through the 12 zodiac signs a bit later. But if you have an idea exactly, for instance, here, where 23 degrees of Leo fall in your birth chart, sometimes it can be a little different where your house starts and finish. So August 20th, Venus will become visible in the sky, so visually visible, because it's going to get away a little bit further from the sun. So that's going to be more, let's say, energizing for everybody that is ruled by Venus. So Taurus, Libra, rising, sun, moon. So I feel like you're going to get your energy back mostly on August 20th and beyond. And then August 23rd, the famous Mercury retrograde that's going to be retrograde until September 15. And then August 28th, we're going to have Uranus going retrograde. And at that point, all the planets except for Mars and Jupiter are going to be retrograde. So we'll be feeling a bit more let's say, the need to direct our attention inwards. I'm guessing a lot of reviewing of past things. And then finally on August 30th, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces at 7 degrees. So lots to talk about. And before we dive into the lunations, the 3 lunations, Meg, can I ask you to pull some cards for the general energies of the month of August?
Sure. So I'm going to first pull from my astrology cards, our Star Codes Astro Oracle. Okay, what are the general messages for August?
I love that Chris says the consensus among many astrologers in the collective is to use this month to build your health for the month of September onwards into the fall. Wow, I love that. And yes, I did pick up also with the Mercury retrograde that it's going to be prep time for eclipse season as well. So I love that, Chris. Thank you.
Okay, this is a really interesting message. So I just heard really clearly showing up to the world and life, even though there's a lot going on. Okay, so there's going to be a lot happening, a lot of us feeling more sensitive than usual, Pisces, but we have work to do, Saturn. We need to show up. The Ascendant card. The Ascendant is being seen, showing up, our role in the world. So I find it interesting we're getting both of these guys together, which can be very much about being out in the world and having a job to do, even though we can be feeling highly sensitive. And Pisces is spirituality. There's a lot activating us right now. There's so many once in a lifetime astrological transits going on. I'm feeling spirit say there may be times where we just want to tap out and maybe just not show up, you know, even though a lot is going to be retrograde and it is a time for reviewing and reflection. Certain commitments, especially a lot of us in this like-minded community, we're in roles where we serve others. I feel like people need us right now, okay? Especially those that may not be as conscious as to what's going on in the world. We're being called, this is such an interesting message, to show up even though we're processing a lot. How do you feel about that, Julie?
That makes total sense. It's exactly how I've been feeling so far for the last week, is that there's a lot going on in our personal lives, especially, let's say, our relationships, and not just romantic relationships, all types of relationships, since Venus is retrograde. But I feel like that doesn't mean like we have to, I don't know, just check out from the world and deal with our personal issues. It feels, and that's what Janine was getting also, I believe last month, she was getting that we still need to, as you said, show up and be there and do the work that we're here to do. So remember like what we're here for and be focused. I love that. That makes sense.
Cool. Yeah. And I also pulled 2 Archangel Michael cards, which
Mm.
I've never brought that deck out yet. I don't think in a live show. This is one of Doreen Virtue's decks that she had when she was still doing her Oracle decks. And I really like her cards.
That must be worth a lot of money now, Meg, because it's a hard to find deck. Wow.
Yeah, I'm keeping this. I'm not selling that. This is interesting. We got believe and trust. And I feel like this is Archangel Michael saying, even though it can seem challenging right now, there can be a lot of programming trying to discourage us. Believe and trust that we are on the right track to the new earth and being on the higher timeline. And Archangel Michael is saying clearly, let go of fear now.
Wow.
So that may be something I feel like we're processing a lot of personally and collectively, is the fear going on, that fear vibration. So doing things to let go of the fear. Maybe if the archangels resonate with you, working with the angels resonate with you, maybe we can call upon them in particular this month. Archangel Michael, I know there's lots of great Archangel Michael meditations and chants on YouTube, online, Spotify, that kind of thing. So we can do that kind of work if it resonates.
Yeah, it does. And it resonates a lot for me because I've heard the name of Archangel Michael quite a lot in the past month. And I feel like you were strongly guided to come up with that deck today. So I feel like it's a strong message for everybody. Let us know in the chat if you resonate with that, if you call upon Archangel Michael sometimes, let us know. Wow. Thank you, Meg. Okay, let's dive into the today's first full moon, first lunation of the month of August. So that's today. It'll be exact tonight because it was exact during the afternoon. So tonight will be the full lunation.
Mm.
Yesterday was quite big in the sky, so I don't know if you guys were able to see it. I felt it was a very powerful full moon. Um, and both the sun and the moon will be at a Jupiterian degree, which is the ninth degree. So you can look where the ninth degree of Aquarius fall in your own birth chart, and you're going to know what house is getting activated by this full moon. So sun and moon also make a T-square to Jupiter. So there's a lot of Jupiterian energy right now. So I feel like even though it's a T-square, I feel like it's a lot of optimistic energy, a lot of good energy, hopeful energy. So even though it's a T-square, I feel like it's good for getting a higher perspective of everything that is going on, and to feel blessed and feeling grateful certainly will help during today's full moon.
Mm.
On the world scale, we could see the completion of a big justice case. I wrote here some causes could reach a larger amount of people. So are we talking about this particular movie, or going even more viral, or other stuff? But I feel like the public in general could be getting some more awareness on what people here in the community already know. Also, we could hear even more about the issues around freedom of speech and censorship on social media, because it's in Aquarius, which rules social media, and with Sagittarius, the planet of truth and freedom. So we could be hearing about the necessity to have our freedom, and those types of issues coming on the forefront of our awareness. There's a lot of good aspects to it. So Jupiter's making a trine to Mars. So a lot of supportive energy for all you freedom fighters out there. So that's really good. And also giving us the energy to push forward. And as you were saying with the cards earlier, Meg, to show up, do the work, show up what you're here to do, what you're here to do. And then Uranus is squaring Venus retrograde. So that's let's say, the hardest part of this full moon. So I wrote here some sort of issues could be brought to the light. And let's say on the more personal scale, I feel like it could be sudden revelations, because Uranus rules sudden things going fast, especially when it's a square, a hard alignment. So, or getting, let's say, hard realization from relationships that hit really strongly today. So let's try to not be too reactive, because there is a lot here. And before I move on to the next event, Meg, would you like to add something to this full moon?
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I do feel overall, even though there's that T-square, you were talking about some tense aspects. I like the full moon being in Aquarius. I like that it's at a Jupiter degree. I like the Jupiter trine Mars. There's positive things with this for sure, inspirational energy, empowering. And I think it's a good time because Aquarius does rule like-minded groups of people and friends as well, to maybe go see a friend you haven't seen in a while, reach out to someone, be in maybe some like-minded group. I think that can help us to navigate the energies.
Really good point. And thank you so much, Elena, for your donation here. Happy full moon, everyone. Thank you, Meg and Julie, for the show. And thank you for being here. And yes, tomorrow we'll have this beautiful event that's going to be live at 3 p.m. Eastern on August 2nd. So this is the Aquarius full moon singing bowl meditation with the amazing Elena and Janine. And I will be there. JC will be there as well. So that's on beyondmystic.academy. So essentially it's going to be an activation meditation around the big power of this full moon, how to manifest your desires. So Aquarius related to our future, our highest aspirations for our future. So I feel like it's going to be a very potent time to really reflect on what we'd like to manifest and take the time to really create the space for that. And Aquarius is also linked with frequency work. So I think this is going to be perfect with the beautiful bowl singing vibrations that Elena so beautifully put together with her voice. Aquarius rules all kind of energy healing and frequency healing. So that's going to be perfect to set us in the best possible manifestation environment and mood. So thank you so much, Elena, for reminding us. And of course, tonight, we'll be talking even more about this full moon that we're experiencing today. That's going to be on the Divine Feminine Oracle Show at 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, let's move forward. And thank you, by the way. I love reading your comments in the chat, and Meg's going to bring some more on the screen if I'm talking, and vice versa. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so mid-August, this is going to be August 16, we have a beautiful new moon in the sign of Leo. I feel like it's going to be probably the most beautiful time of the month. I really love this new moon in Leo, 23 degrees. So a new cycle opens up in Leo. So Leo rules love, romance, children, connecting even more to our inner child, also creative projects, leadership, self-expression, teaching, and also being in the spotlight. So something around those lines could be manifesting in your life, and a new cycle can open up at that time. It's beautiful because it's going to conjunct our friend Venus being retrograde. So that could be a lot of renewals, let's say, of old relationship, renewals of old projects that you've been talking about, but now might be the best time to, let's say, put it together. We can also have sudden news regarding relationships because it's making a square to Uranus. So sudden developments. So I think things will start to happen in a fast pace because of that square to Uranus. And we can have, like, if we've been waiting for responses for some stuff that had delays, I think that this new moon will start to get everything rolling. So I really like that. And it's also making a beautiful aspect to the North Node, the South Node. So I think karmically, universe will be working in our favor and trining Chiron also. Did you have anything to add to this beautiful new moon in Leo?
Yeah, I think this is going to be really romantic and even sexual, if I may add, because Black Moon Lilith is going to be conjunct Venus and the Sun.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
So this is really spicy, romantic, creative. If you're dating someone, this could be a really fun time. Or if you're not with someone, you know, giving yourself self-love, buying yourself flowers, doing something creative, maybe going to a spa, doing something that is fun and feels good, because Leo is all about having fun. So I think this can be a really fun time, this new moon.
I love that. And of course, like you said, I feel like if you're not in a relationship, if it's not around romantic love for you, creation, the arts, giving yourself self-love, these are all really good ways, I feel, to channel this energy in the best possible way, because Leo's the energy of creations. So think about something you can create for yourself around this new moon. I was going to say full moon, but it's a new moon. Okay, let me look at my notes here. So then, okay, so let's say a week after this beautiful new moon, we're going to have the very, I was going to say feared Mercury retrograde. Let's not fear Mercury retrograde. Is going to be fine. But yes, I know a lot of people are talking about that very famous aspect in astrology. So let's dive into this. So from August 23rd until mid-September, we're going to have Mercury going retrograde in Virgo. So it's in its own sign. So I think, honestly, it would be one of the most powerful but good Mercury retrograde, in my opinion, because Mercury is at home in the sign of Virgo, but it's also exalted in the sign of Virgo. So it's a place where Mercury really likes to be. And if you really harness the energy in the way that it's supposed to work in your favor, aka redoing stuff, reviewing, revisiting old projects, reorganizing, making sure you're really organized and ready, then I feel like it could really work to your advantage this Mercury retrograde season. And I personally have Mercury retrograde in my natal chart in Virgo on my ascendant, so I know what I'm talking about. And usually Mercury retrograde for me are kind of good periods of time. I can really harness it usually in a positive way. Of course, there's minor annoyances of life, but generally speaking, I think you can get a lot done. It's just that of course, it's a Mercury retrograde. So if you can delay, let's say, some important decisions, contracts, signatures, deals, of course, try to delay it after. But if you really have to, then it is what it is, life goes on. Uh, so yeah, I put here, use this time to reevaluate, put finishing touches and perfect your projects, organize, tidy, and structure your work and your daily life. So if you really use this energy in this way, then I feel like you'll be 100% ready for what we have a month later, aka the eclipse season.
Yeah.
So almost exactly a month after Venus goes direct on September 15, we'll have eclipse season. So this is kind of your prep time to make sure everything is organized, your life is organized, your work is organized, everything is ready, and you don't have anything lingering that's being a drain in your energy. So everything is ready, everything is at its own place and order, and you're ready to face everything that could come up after. And also here I put taking care of your health. We had the comment before, taking care of your health and scheduling the needed appointments. And here I wrote Virgo rules, natural remedies, and alternative treatments. So let's say you want to take care of your body, your health. This will be a really good time to do so. Take the right approach, the Virgoan approach, the right strategies to take care of your work, your health, your daily life. How do you feel about that, Meg?
I love what you said there because it's in its home sign. So I feel like I like this Mercury retrograde, actually. Like you said, it can be really, really powerful. Big focus on health. And like you're saying, Julie, reorganization. And if we do that, we'll be prepared for the crazy eclipse season of October because that's going to be pretty wild.
Pretty wild. Yes. Yeah. Buckle up.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to our last slide before we go into the 12 signs. And it's going to be on August 30th. So right at the end of this beautiful month of August, we'll have a full moon in Pisces at 7 degrees. So again, you can look where 7 degrees of the sign of Pisces fall in your own birth chart. So in what house, and then you're going to see what house is getting activated for you. Okay, not gonna lie, I think this is going to be a hard full moon because okay, a full moon talks about some form of ending or completion. The sign of Pisces also talks about a completion of some kind, the end of a cycle, and in that case, the end of the zodiac is Pisces. So we're also talking about the end of something. And we also have the planet Saturn that's making a conjunction to this full moon. So warning here, I wrote, I think there's going to be a lot of mental health and feeling depressed possibilities, let's say in the public at large. Also, Saturn rules feeling of separateness and feeling lonely, feeling isolated. So I feel like it could very well be the case. And if that's the case for you, just remember that it's completely normal whenever Saturn hits a very emotional place of your chart, such as this full moon. So it's normal, but you can really use this modality as an advantage for you. So you can really take some alone time consciously and try to do some Piscean thing to really try to channel this energy in the best way possible. But here I'm just putting some big warnings for everybody in general. So you'll know if you have those feelings and you're feeling like a bit off, you'll know what's going on. And also, of course, because it's in the Virgo Pisces axis of health issues might come up for some people. So just going to mention it here. And so, like I said, because it talks a lot about endings, I feel like either some relationships could be ending because it's a Libra degree of 7 degree. Also, some karmic chapters might be ending, but to make space in your life for new ones. So that's the good, the good part of this full moon. But there's going to be some form of completion, and if you can know in what house it falls for you, you're going to see even more what themes could be coming up for you. So how can you really channel this energy in the best way possible? Well, if you take some alone time, if you take time to meditate, which is very much Piscean in nature. Also, Pisces is very creative, so you can create something artistic, like an artistic projects, being alone and being in your own bubble, your own space. So I think that's one of the best ways to really utilize this energy and in the best way possible. So at that point, nearly all planets are retrograde. So not the best time to put things into motions, not new things into motions. Rather, it's a time to reflect upon things that you've done in the past. Mercury and Venus at this point are retrograde. So try to delay any important decisions if you can. It's better to sit and reflect with any new given information at that point. It's also a great time for healing if you put the conscious work into it. There's a Neptune sextile Pluto, so a lot of psychological healing, removing blockages, removing psychological blockages could be happening around this full moon. Of course, if you do the conscious work. So energy healing, frequency healing, getting downloads, prophetic dreams. And on that note, I think this is going to be probably the best time to do some activation work. So here on the Academy, recently we put 2 activation by Milevy regarding abundance and manifestation series. Wow, I'm having trouble to speak today. So removing, releasing, limiting belief relating to abundance. So any kind of work that you'll be doing around this full moon, around changing your patterns, changing the way your core beliefs that's blocking you from attracting what you want. So this one is more, let's say, regarding money, abundance, but you can do any kind of work in that department around this full moon, and that's going to be super, super positive. Anything else, Meg, I forgot, or you'd like to add to this full moon in Pisces?
That was all great. I feel like this might be the funkiest and weirdest full moon of the year.
Yeah.
That's just everything together. It's like it's the 3rd lunation in 1 month. It's 7 planets retrograde. It's full moon in Pisces with Saturn conjunct it in Pisces and Neptune in last critical degrees of Pisces. So just take it easy out there, you guys. Anna V says, how about surgery on the 30th? Personally, I wouldn't do surgery on the 30th. I feel like it's just a really funky day where it's good to just kind of chill, reflect on what's going on around you and not do anything too crazy. If it's a minor kind of surgery, that could be okay, but anything major, maybe not, because Saturn is conjunct that moon as well. So
Right. Right. So it means like it's not necessarily bad, but the recovery could be slower because
right.
Saturn takes time. Or it could need a couple of retries to be successful because Saturn is a planet that does and redoes again. So I agree with you, Meg.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Okay. I think, guys, we are ready to go through the 12 signs. I'm very excited about this part. Are you ready, Meg?
I'm ready.
Okay. And right before we do so, thank you. May's workshop is amazing. I can't believe how affordable it is. Yes, because also we've put up the chakra healing course, which is also like an amazing practice for the month of August, while Venus is retrograde. So the time to put love and energy into yourself. And we had so many great comments on that. So thank you for mentioning that. Love it. Yeah, and Libby saying release all toxicity, people, places, things. Yes, especially with that full moon in Pisces, that's going to be the perfect things to do. Okay, I'm adding my little wheel here to the screen. let me know. So I put for the date, I put the Venus Kazemi, but we're gonna touch on the different aspects for every sign. And also, I'll just change here to Aries.
Yay. So we'll start talking with the Mercury retrograde, okay, which is going to start on August 23rd. And like Julie said, go until September 15th. But we're entering pre-shadow period, you guys, on September 3rd, okay? So we can start to feel the effects, even though it's not the technical Mercury retrograde until August 23rd. We can start to feel it in the pre-shadow, even August 3rd and after that. So for Aries, this Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your sixth house, the house of Virgo, health, day-to-day work and routines. So it's important to pay attention, review, and reflect and double check on all areas of life, like your day-to-day work, the workplace, your office, your health. I feel like you guys can maybe potentially feel more easily stressed out, because Virgo can be stress and sometimes mental health in the shadow aspect. So it would be really good to exercise and do lots of movement, as you Aries usually do. You guys rule physical exercise. That can help release any stagnant energy with this Mercury retrograde for sure. So that's happening in the sixth house for you guys. And the Venus conjunct Sun, the Venus Kazemi that we're having, which is a really lucky, abundant, auspicious placement, you guys. This happens only every 9 months when the Sun and Venus conjunct each other. We're being blessed in whatever area of life this is highlighting in our chart. So for Aries, this Sun-Venus Kazemi is happening on August 13th, and around that in your fifth house, the fifth house of Leo. So I feel like this is amazing for you, Aries, for fun, romance, creativity. And this is also, like Julie was sharing, around the new moon in Leo. This Kazemi will be exact 3 days before the new moon in Leo. So romance can be really highlighted, whether you're in a relationship or being romantic with yourself. Creative projects, really amazing time for you guys to be creative. Get back into a creative project that you maybe haven't done in a while, or try something new. There can be a blessing of a new form of creativity coming forward. And it's a fun energy for you guys. So that's really exciting, Aries. I know you guys love to have fun. You're a fire sign. And I also feel like health and abundance is a focus, as your planetary ruler Mars is in the sixth house with Jupiter in your second house in trine. So this is going to be an aspect that's strong for the first 2 weeks of the month. So important for you to be aware of your health. Focus on that. And like those May Levy abundance meditations would be great for you, Aries, because this Jupiter is sitting in your second house of Taurus, which is physical resources and money. So it could be a really good time to do abundance and manifestation work, as Jupiter also rules our beliefs and manifestation. So I like the energy of this month for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So enjoy.
I love that. And I forgot to mention before we started the 12 signs that you can, well, I think I mentioned it at the start. You can look at your rising sign. It would be the first one in my in my list. Most powerful one would be the rising sign, and then sun sign usually is very effective too. And then in third rank, you can look also at your moon. So thank you so much. We'll switch the wheel to our second sign, Taurus.
Taurus. So this is really interesting, because I feel like this is a very active month for Taurus rising suns and moons. There's lots of powerful transits happening for Taurus this month. First of all, the planetary ruler of Taurus, which is Venus, will be retrograde for the whole month. And Tauruses are feeling this the most strong out of all the other signs, as well as Libras. So Tauruses and Libras are ruled by Venus. So really be aware, Tauruses, no major cosmetic procedures, okay, because Venus rules beauty. No major big house changes or purchases of any kind. Just if you can, I know life gets in the way and sometimes we have to do certain things, but if you can, wait until after Venus retrograde, after Mercury retrograde, after September 15th. It's a good time to reevaluate your values of home, family, ancestors, and property, as this Venus retrograde is happening in your 4th house. So I'm a Taurus rising. I'm definitely going through that right now of a move, but kind of having to hold off on making any firm decisions until after the retrograde. So, and I know there's a lot going on where a lot of us are wanting to move locations, you guys, but Taurus is just wait until after these retrogrades. I promise. Look at all the options. Take this time to look at all the options. If there are moves happening or property buys that you're making or important decisions having to do with family.
So do you think the Venus Cazimi would be good for something big regarding Venus? Because even though it's retrograde?
Yeah, I feel like even though it's retrograde, because it's a sun, our most important heavenly body, love, light, positivity. I feel like even though Venus is retrograde, it is very positive for all signs and Taurus and Libra. So around the Venus Cazimi, I'm happy that you said that, Julie, around October 13th or on October 13th, August 13th, the right house or decision regarding family or things having to do with property can come up. So be very aware of that, anything that the 4th house rules. Blessings of home life and family as well coming forward.
All
And
right.
yeah, and for Taurus's Jupiter is still in Taurus. We're having that for the almost whole next year until May 2024. And Jupiter is in your 1st house, in trine to Mars in the 5th house. So this is really fun. It's a similar kind of energy to the Aries. There's opportunity for fun and expansion and romance and creativity at the start of this month with Jupiter trine Mars. So take advantage of that. Do something fun. This is a really good time for Tauruses to do some kind of travel for sure, or creative projects. So I think there can be some exciting, fun things happening for Taurus. And the Sun-Venus conjunction, the Cazimi, as we talked about, happening exactly on August 13th, is happening in the 4th house. So we talked about that a bit already. Blessings coming into your home life, family, even private breakthroughs, right, Julie? The 4th house is our private life. So spending some time alone, you can get private breakthroughs. Taurus is in meditation, in your home, doing spiritual work. Healing work can be really, really good. And the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 5th house, Tauruses. So potential misunderstandings with loved ones, even though I would consider this overall to be a positive month for you guys, just double check everything you're communicating with romantic partners and children. 5th house is children, our own children or children around us. There can be little, it is Mercury retrograde, so misunderstandings, miscommunications. And I feel like we can work with this energy, Tauruses, by reevaluating the balance between work and play, because 5th house of Leo is fun and playfulness. So you can review, do you have any time for play in your life? And how can you bring that in more into your life? And yeah, so I think this is a very active month for Tauruses. And like you said, Julie, as well, after August 20th, when Venus becomes visible, we may feel more energized, because a lot of us Tauruses and Libras with Venus being retrograde are feeling tired and needing more sleep.
Yeah, so August 20th, Venus will become visible again. Okay, thank you so much. And Gail, by the way, I'll bring up your comment. Thank you so much. And I'll bring up your comment when we're talking about Capricorn rising. So if you have personal questions, tell us your rising sign, sun sign, and we'll try to get to the signs in order. I'll try to put them in the right order. So Gemini, here we are.
Gemini. Okay, so Mercury retrograde. Mercury is your planetary ruler. So similar to the Tauruses and the Libras with the Venus retrograde, their ruler, you guys are going to be feeling the Mercury retrograde more when we get into that. And the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 4th house. So unexpected issues with home or family can come up. Be aware of any miscommunications having to do with family or anything having to do with your home. Property. You can be feeling, Gemini, more emotionally sensitive, because the 4th house is emotional sensitivity and private life as well. I think it's a good time for you Geminis to do any kind of emotional healing work for sure. And things coming back from the past for completion. people coming back from the past, family members coming back from the past. That can all be coming up for sure. Review and reflection is very important for you this month, for sure. And the Sun conjunct Venus cazimi is happening in your third house, which is the house of Gemini, your home house. So I feel like this is particularly lucky for you, Gemini rising suns and moons. Blessings coming into your social life, friendships, local community, social media. Which is kind of a funny thing to say, but if you use social media for work, for example, something you post could go viral. There could be a really informative post that you have to make, or new way of sharing content that people really like. There could be blessings having to do with that. Communication gifts, new cars and gadgets as well. So it's interesting because we are right before that Mercury retrograde, but the Venus Sun cazimi is happening in that third house of Mercury. So there can actually be blessings coming in of anything that is Mercury ruled in life. So it's a little bit interesting for you guys, and lucky as well. And your ruler Mercury is in your fourth house for the month and will be in trine to Jupiter in your 12th house. So for you Geminis, on or around August 9th, this aspect is very positive expansion of communication in life with family, health upliftment, spiritual awareness, and profound dreams. So that's a pretty spiritual aspect. And I feel like can be very expansive for you guys. So doing meditation, I think, would be very good around that time of August month, with August 9th with Mercury trine Jupiter. Like you could do automatic writing, downloads can be coming through. So practices like that can be good for you guys. So I think it's a good month overall.
Yeah, and changing your beliefs also. Jupiter rules belief in your 12th house, so doing something that change your unconscious beliefs that are blocking you from getting the abundance, for example, which is also Jupiter ruled. Love that. Okay, let's switch to Cancer. So for Cancer, rising, sun, and moon.
Yeah, so Cancers.
I said Cancer, but I didn't put the right. Cancer, here we go. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this is really interesting for you Cancers because we're having 3 lunations this month. And the moon is your planetary ruler. So it is totally normal, Cancer, rising sun and moons, if you're feeling more emotional this month, if you're feeling more tired this month, because we're having 3 lunations and you're ruled by the moon. So I do think it's a powerful time for healing work, change, intuitive insights, anything that the moon rules. To do things in life that the moon rules is very much in a natural alignment for you guys, for sure. And the Mercury retrograde that we're going to be having is happening in your third house. And this is the home house of Mercury. So you, as well as the Geminis, can be feeling this Mercury retrograde very, very strong because Mercury is the ruler of the third house. So just be aware of miscommunications for sure. Signing any contracts, I would watch out for that unless you absolutely have to. Anything having to do with gadgets, your phone, computer, or car breaking down can possibly be coming up. So just be mindful with any gadgets or electronic possessions or your car. If there's something, Cancers, that is up with your car right now, get it fixed. Okay, don't wait until during this retrograde because something could break down, which we don't want to have that happen. Mercury can rule cars in astrology. So just double check everything. Don't sign anything new if possible. If there's something new that comes up during the retrograde, I do find, Julie, I'd like to hear what you think about this. If there's something we've already planned before the retrograde that we do want to sign, I feel like that can be okay. I wouldn't say it's the totally ideal time, but that's a lot better than signing something or joining something that has just come up during the retrograde. Would you say so?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Because I feel like the danger with Mercury retrograde is to have sudden ideas and you're like, yeah, you think it's the best idea ever, but your mind is kind of clouded during, your judgment is clouded during Mercury retrograde. So if it's something that you took the time to really reflect upon before and you still think it's a good idea, then yeah, go ahead. Yeah, for sure. And like you were saying about the car breaking down, and it's funny because I feel like every time I had a car problem, it happened during a Mercury retrograde. So
Really?
it's like sometimes, yeah, the universe pushes things into your awareness that were dysfunctional before, but now the retrograde is where you really see them in your face and you have no choice but to deal with them. So if that comes up, then you just have to deal with repairing the things that need reparation. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. So also for Cancers, Saturn retrograde is in your ninth house this month, with Mercury retrograde happening in your third house. Third house and ninth house both rule travel. So I feel like it's not really the best time, Cancers, to be traveling, but if you do have a trip planned, just make sure that you have everything in order, okay? Because there's more likely to be delays or certain things go funky with that. So just be extra aware of any foreign travel, any road trips that you're doing, flights, that everything is absolutely in order. Okay. And the lucky positive Sun conjunct Venus cazimi is happening in your second house. So that is extremely positive. This is blessings of money, abundance, physical resources, enjoying life, beauty, and connection to nature. So Venus is the planetary ruler of the second house of Taurus. So even though you've got a little bit of funky stuff happening with the third house and the ninth house, the travel houses, there's some kind of, I think, really big blessing coming in that Venus rules. So that'll be around August 13th. So be interesting to see what comes up for you guys.
Yay. Very excited for you, Cancers.
Yeah.
So now let's switch to Leos. So Leos, rising, sun, and moon.
Yeah. So happy birthday and solar return to all the Leos out there. It's your birthday month. And I think this is an amazing month for you all. If I had to pick one sign, Julie, that I think this is the best month for, I think I would maybe say the Leos. Okay.
Oh,
Because I feel like this is really nice astrology for Leo risings, suns, and moons. I'm so excited for you guys. So first off, we're having a new moon in Leo that Julie was talking about, happening on August 16th. So this is your new moon of the year, Leos. You're being seen. People are wanting to be around you. People are wanting your energy. I don't mean that in like an energy vampire way, but people are wanting to see you. And Leos, you rule confidence and showcasing yourself to the world and creativity and leadership. So it's a good time to put yourself out there around this new moon in Leo. I feel like it's a really lucky new moon and big life changes can happen for you guys. The Venus retrograde in Leo, your sign, is happening all month in your first house. So you guys do want to be aware of any physical appearance changes, might not be the best time for that. Any cosmetic procedures might not be the best time for that. Reevaluating your body and your relationship to your body, your beliefs around your appearance and self. So I know that can be something, especially for women, and I know some men too, our body and what we look like. It would be good to do self-love work, Leo, I think, to work with this Venus retrograde happening in your first house. And
yep.
you're also having the Sun Venus cazimi conjunction in your first house. And the first house is not just the physical body, you guys are being seen, but it's self. And I really noticed, Julie, when people have things going on with the first house, they're being seen. I feel like there's a connection with the first house and the 10th house of Capricorn,
Yep.
like being seen publicly. So huge blessings coming in of opportunities. People are seeing you and people are wanting you to be a part of their projects, or someone's wanting to showcase you, or you can feel more confident to put yourself out there with your gifts. So I feel spirit just saying, go for it right now. Leos, just go for it. Because I feel like this is such a good month for you guys to put yourself out there, to be in your confidence. And we need your energy, Leos, right now, because none of the outer planets are in fire signs until 2025. Leos, Aries, Sagittarius. So we need your fire and your passion and your confidence and your leadership and your inspiration to be showcased. So people and opportunities are drawn to you. Also, if that's not amazing enough, Leo, the Jupiter trine Mars that we're having in the first 2 weeks of the month is happening in your second and 10th house. So you're going to be making more money. There's more abundance coming in. And I've been seeing that with some of the Leo risings around me, that they're making more money all of a sudden. So that's very, very positive. And the Mercury retrograde is happening in your second house. So just being extra mindful of any big purchases, might not want to, and this goes for everybody, but in particular, the Leo rising suns and moons, hold off on any really big purchases if possible until after September 15th, because the second house is money, purchases, things of physical value. But other than that, I think it's an amazing month for Leos.
Yeah, and I just want to say a special shout out to you, Jenny Alicia. I know you're a Leo sun, so happy birthday season to you. Thank you for being here. We love you. And also, I have a comment here from Jill saying happy birthday to Solrita. She's also a Leo sun, so sending you much love. I know it's your birthday soon. And also we have a quick question from Ace here. Thank you so much, Ace. My husband is a Leo sun and Cancer moon. He resigned end of June from his job and moving back to hometown to start new practice. Anything we can do to make it succeed? And with Jupiter in his 10th house, well, we're looking at the chart from a Leo rising point, but if he's a Leo sun, then it's also accurate. So I would say that having the Venus Cazimi in his first house, first of all, is very good to be seen, as you were saying, Meg. Also, Jupiter in the 10th house, the house of career is the 10th house. So right now for Leos, we have both Uranus and Jupiter there. So I feel for a lot of Leos, there's change involved because Uranus is also the planet of change. But with Jupiter, it kind of promises that you need to find more purpose. And if you align with that, then I feel like material abundance, financial abundance will come from it. And especially with that beautiful trine between Mars and Jupiter. Would you agree with that, Meg?
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
Love it. So thank you so much, Ace. I hope it answers your question. But yeah, I feel like Leos are blessed right now, even though a lot of Leos might be going through changes.
Yes.
Let's switch to the wonderful, beautiful Virgos.
Virgos. So yes, happy birthday, almost birthday, Julie and Sophie, to all our beautiful Virgos out there, rising suns and moons. So you're going to be having your birthday solar return. So wishing you guys the most magical birthday years ever. Mercury, your planetary ruler, is going to be going retrograde. So like the Geminis, Virgos, you're going to be feeling this Mercury retrograde more so than the other signs. I just want to say too that it's interesting, Julie. I notice, like you were saying, people who have Mercury retrograde in their chart don't feel it as much as other people that don't have Mercury retrograde. So check in your chart, you guys, if you do have Mercury retrograde, because I notice a lot of people who have that don't get that affected by the retrograde. So you may be lucky if you have that.
So if you want to check, just see if you have a little RX here next to a planet, then it's going to be in your natal chart retrograde. No big deal. It just means that the energy of Mercury is going to be more inwards than outwards. So you're going to have an easier time reflecting and reviewing and taking your time to make decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So as Mercury is your planetary ruler and in your sign, Mercury retrograde in Virgo, you want to be double checking everything you do, watching out for any miscommunication. Really good time to look at your health, Virgo, which I know you guys are usually all about that. Okay.
Well, don't worry about that, Meg.
You guys got that. But if there is anything like Julie was talking about earlier, you know, you are feeling to do, I do feel like it could be a good time for a cleanse or researching new dietary plans, cleanses, things of that nature. I feel like it's a good time to do. But you guys are Virgos, so you're usually on top of that thing. So the Sun-Venus conjunction Cazimi as well, which is going to be exact on August 13th. But I feel like we're being blessed by it the whole month, in particular the days around August 13th. That is happening, Virgo, in your 12th house of Pisces, which is your opposite sign. So this is really interesting. The 12th house is the house of spirituality, creativity, behind the scenes work. So you're being blessed by the spiritual side of life. your creative side, artisticness coming forward. Spending time behind the scenes can bring blessings and inspiration and really good ideas. I also feel like there's something sacred about when we work on something behind the scenes, Virgo, without sharing it publicly. And then when we're ready to share it publicly and it's completed, sometimes I find there's something even more powerful than that. Keeping something sacred behind the scenes, it's like containing the energy. And then when it's ready to be publicly shown, maybe after the Mercury retrograde, it can be even more powerful. And I also think it's a good time for spiritual retreats because the 12th house can rule spiritual retreats. Meditation and visiting sacred sites can be very positive as well. And yeah, we're going to be having Mercury in Virgo trine Jupiter on August 9th. This is a very positive aspect for you, Virgos and Geminis, as your Mercury ruled. Good time for communication that needs to be had, being creative, writing, and traveling. So I do think it is a good month, particularly the more beginning, middle of August, to do traveling, road trips, vacations, stuff like that. That can be really fun and positive. And I'm feeling spirit say sacred sites in particular for you guys can be really positive and blessed. Things can come through in that way.
Yeah, it's crazy because yesterday I wanted to do something special with Sophie, and we didn't have any other idea than to go in the nature and take a walk in a very sacred place in nature that's close to where we live. So, but I
Wow.
felt really like a big energy cleanse that I needed very much. So, 12th house, I very much agree with you. It's really good to be in nature. Be on sacred sites or sites that you feel personally are sacred. Might not be the case for everybody else, but
Mm.
yeah, very much. Well, thank you for that. Looking forward to that month. And let's switch to Libras.
Lovely Libras. Yeah, so like the Tauruses, the planetary ruler of Libra is Venus, and Venus is going to be retrograde all month. So you're going to be feeling this Venus retrograde very strong. So again, like we said for the Tauruses, no major cosmetic procedures. Watch out for any beauty procedures, treatments of any sort, or big house changes or purchases. It's a really good time, Libra, to be reevaluating friendships, groups you're associated with, your goals and dreams, as Venus is going to be retrograde in your 11th house. So friendships, groups you're associated with, goals and dreams can be very highlighted for you this month. That would be a good area, I think, to focus on, to review and to reflect. Seeing friends you haven't seen in a while or groups that you haven't seen in a while, classes you haven't gone to in a while can be very positive. And the Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 12th house. So again, similar to, I think, the Virgos, it's a good time to work on something behind the scenes. Keeping a project private and working on it before releasing it publicly can make it even more powerful. And your hidden self and addictive patterns, if there are any, because the 12th house can rule addictions and hidden patterns, can be very much coming to the surface and being revealed, Libra. So it is a good time to maybe do some energetic healing if you're noticing some things about yourself, some hidden patterns that you weren't aware of before, and you feel like you need some professional support with that. Energy healing, or maybe seeing a spiritual psychotherapist or therapist, can be really good. Dream time can be really active, as that is Pisces rules dreams, the 12th house. And spiritual foreign travel options can be revealed. Maybe there's a retreat you find out about that you don't necessarily go on during this time, but that can come up for another time. I was really feeling that strongly for all you Libras. So watching out for any retreats or foreign workshops, courses happening. So yeah, just double checking everything you do, as with everyone with the Mercury retrograde, any contracts, electronics, making sure everything's backed up. So yeah, and I feel like with Mercury being in Virgo, it can be a little funky that way, more for all of us with the electronics or things just going a little bit haywire because it's at its most powerful in a home sign.
But you know, like we say, the energy is going to manifest itself however it is expressed. So Mercury in the 12th house, like to have a dream journal, because you mentioned the dreams are going to be very potent around that time for Libras.
Mhm.
So having a dream journal, because Mercury rules writing, so does Virgo. So if you are doing some automatic writing sessions, so that could be ways to channel this energy in a much better way, especially in the 12th house.
Yeah, that
And we
is.
also, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, I just said that's so true.
Yeah. We also have a question here. Thank you so much. She says, my niece Julie, very nice name, is a Libra and has the moon in Cancer. She is getting married on the 19th of August. I don't know the men's sign. Okay, so it's a funny question because I'm hearing a lot of people getting married during this Venus retrograde phase. Well, that's good that it's before Mercury retrograde, because Mercury is in the 12th house for Libra rising, Libra sun. So what are your thoughts on this, Meg, around getting married during that Venus retrograde? But on the upside, it's close to the Venus Cazimi and the new moon in Leo. So what are
Yeah,
your thoughts?
I was just about to say that. I think your daughter got lucky. Sorry, I don't know what your name is. If your name is Wencher, I'm not sure. Sorry, forgive me. But yeah, I think your daughter got lucky because it's going to be around that very romantic
Mm,
new moon, the Venus Cazimi. So I actually like it
yeah,
getting married, even though I would usually advise someone not the best time during a Venus retrograde to get married. I like that it's near a new moon in Leo. Leo rules romance and having fun, family getting together and celebration, and Venus conjunct Sun. So that's something I would feel like almost counteracts or counterbalances the Venus retrograde effect. That's what I would say about it.
I love that. I agree with you. I think it's a good energy.
Yeah.
And especially she has a moon in Cancer and a Libra sun. So Libra sun, very much in need for a partnership, a strong partnership, committed partnership. And also moon in Cancer, very family oriented. So I think marriage is probably really good for your daughter. Thank you so much, Agro, for your donation. Okay, let's switch to the next sign, and I mean the beautiful and amazing Scorpios.
Scorpio. So this is a very interesting month for Scorpios. The Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in our 11th house. So we're reviewing and reevaluating our friendships, group associations, goals, dreams, and the future. I wanted to mention, Scorpio, that if you feel kind of like down about certain dreams that haven't manifested yet, that can be very normal with Mercury going retrograde in this house and so many other planets retrograde. So, us Scorpios, and I say us because I am a Scorpio, we can get really easily down and sometimes be negative and in the dumps. So it's okay if you're feeling more like lack of inspiration with your goals. It's okay. That's going to pass. And it's okay if something hasn't manifested yet that you've been thinking about for a long time. That's a dream for the future. It is going to come if it is alignment and if you feel it in your heart. So I think it's a good time to do goal setting, maybe making a vision board, and waiting to make firm decisions on goals until after the Mercury retrograde is over. I'm noticing a lot of Scorpios reconnecting with old friends and groups. So that can be very positive, Scorpio. Open up to trusting and being able to have healthy friendships and group connections. Good time for that. The Sun Venus Cazimi is happening in your 10th house. So this
Wow.
is really cool. Blessings this month, in particular around August 13th, around career, work, being seen publicly, new professional relationships, and projects. So there can be very positive developments happening in terms of work and career, Scorpio. So that's very exciting if you are focused on career and work at the moment. And Mars, which is Scorpio's traditional ruler, is in the 11th house this month for you, Scorpios, trine Jupiter in the 7th house. So this is going to be exact today, actually, this aspect, August 1st, but we're going to be feeling it for the next week or so. Really positive for professional and personal relationship developments and renewed optimism having to do with our relationships and group associations. And I was feeling this really strong, open up to trusting others more. I was hearing that the whole time I was writing my notes for Scorpio, because out of all the signs, we can have a hard time trusting others. So if you're having a hard time with that, if old friends are coming back from the past and maybe something funky happened there, and you're having a hard time opening up to trust, doing some healing work around trust or betrayal, that can be a really big issue for Scorpios, for sure. And very interesting, we're going to have Mars trine Pluto, which is Scorpio's 2 planetary rulers, on August 4th and around then. Very powerful time for us Scorpios, very empowering aspect. Mars and Pluto both rule power and energy, and Scorpio is the sign that rules power. So we're going to be feeling, I think, really active, passionate, and empowered. So channel that time into a positive way. Use your high energy around that time to work on something positively and in a constructive manner. So that's going to be exciting, what comes up for us around August 24th.
Wow.
I wanted to say as well, this is something going on this month, but also for the next few months, but I was feeling guided to say it, Scorpio. Be aware that with Pluto, our modern day ruler, in square to the nodes right now in the next few months, Scorpios are very easily triggering others. Okay. And we're always doing that, but I feel like now in particular, and I'd like to hear what you think, Julie, because Scorpios do rule the shadow side of life, and we can trigger other people, reflecting their shadows back to them. Scorpios, if you're noticing that that's happening more than usual, that's normal, that's natural. Pluto is square the nodes. Okay. So don't take anything personally. If people are saying you're evil or you're negative, or people are acting really triggered around you, we're mirrors to other people. That's part of the fun and the challenge of being a Scorpio. So
Yeah, I agree with you. And I feel like also the other thing that might be going on with Scorpios is that whenever you have a T-square, especially with your ruler planet, with the nodes, it means like you're at a crossroads. So you're transforming yourself in a very big and powerful way. So what I'm feeling with the Scorpios around me is that people around them are getting triggered because they're like, oh, I don't recognize you anymore. You changed. And it's like, yeah, you're a Scorpio. You're going to transform your whole life. It's part of your mission.
yeah.
So I feel like this transformation might be the catalyst for a lot of triggering.
Yeah, that is such a good point. Very, very true.
I love that. Thank you. So let's switch to the next one, which is Sagittarius. And we got here a very famous Scorpio like you.
Yeah.
Can't wait for my appointment with you in September, Meg. Yes.
Oh, yay. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Elena.
Be fun.
So yes, we were saying Sagittarius. Let's look at what are the Sages up to for the month
Yes,
of
so
August.
for the Saggy rising suns and moons, the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 10th house. So there can be some issues or delays happening at work. That's normal happening around this time. Good time to review and reflect on your professional career, goals, legacy, and your relationship with publicly being seen, if you ever do that in any kind of way. The Sun conjunct Venus cazimi is happening in your 9th house. So even though you're having the Mercury retrograde in the 10th house, that can cause some issues with work. That's not always the funnest thing. You guys, I call you guys the lucky duckies because you're the luckiest sign out of everybody. This cazimi is happening in the 9th house, which is the house of Sagittarius. So as if you guys need more luck, because you guys just seem to, not that life is perfect for anyone, but Sagittariuses have luck on their side throughout life. So this is a very positive time for you around August 13th, the cazimi date, the new moon in Leo. This month, this is your home house. So lucky blessings coming from foreign travel, people, higher learning, courses, mentors, and teachers. That's actually something interesting I've been hearing a lot in consultations, people wanting mentors and teachers. So if you're Sagittarius rising sun or moon, that can be coming forward. And it's also the house of publishing. So if any of you Sagis are publishing a book, which I know some of you are, that can be going very well this month for sure.
Oh, I think I know one too who
Yeah.
is publishing a
Oh,
book.
yeah.
Your lovely fiance.
Yes. Yeah. So very positive Sagis. And also ninth house is higher consciousness. So there can be blessings of that expanding, you having epiphanies. It's not just the house of travel and publishing and courses, but consciousness expansion. So I feel like really good time to meditate, Sagittarius, is allow for that consciousness expansion because you are the natural teachers and guides and inspirations in a lot of ways in life.
I love that. And we have a very famous Sagittarius watching us too, right here on the screen, Coco Pierre.
Awesome.
Coco is working with us with both Maison Jupiter and Beyond Mystic. We love her. She's amazing. She's
Mhm.
a Sagittarius. And yeah, I think like she experienced recently some delays in her career. So you were really on point with that. But I feel like the blessings will be even greater and the divine timing of it all will be a big blessing for you. So love
Yes.
you, Coco.
Yay.
Let's switch to our next sign. Did you finish the Sag portion or did I cut you
Yeah.
off?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's like,
Just making sure. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, Capricorns. Here we are. Capricorns, what's up with you?
Capricorn. So this Mercury retrograde that we're going to be having, Cappies, is happening in your ninth house, the house of Sagittarius. So this is a really powerful month in general, as I'm going to talk about all the things. I think really transformational month for you. The ninth house rules our beliefs. So reviewing and reflecting on your beliefs and your connection to higher consciousness. Why do you believe what you believe? Where did that belief come from? Capricorn rules the structures of life and traditions. And I have my moon in Capricorn, so I'm talking to myself. Sometimes we can get very stuck in beliefs because that's the way that it's been, and that's been the tradition, and that's been the structure. But a lot of that is falling apart with Pluto in Capricorn. We're having so many structures torn apart and transformed. So really good time, Capricorns, to do some belief work, to do some of May Levy's work. She's very good at that kind of thing with beliefs. Why do we believe what we believe? And double check anything having to do with foreign travel or courses that you're going to be taking, those ninth house type of things, because Mercury retrograde is happening in that house. And also really interesting, the Sun Venus Cazimi is happening in your eighth house of Scorpio. So I feel like this is a very transformational and healing month for Capricorns. There's blessings of deep healing being available to you, Capricorns. Also blessings coming from investments, merging and working with others, teamwork, your relationship with receiving. I really feel like doing any healing around your emotions, psychology, and spiritual connection can be very good for you, Capricorns. And I know you usually like to work hard and can sometimes Capricorns think, oh, I'll do that healing work later, or oh, I'll go to that later. This is the natural best time to be going inward a little bit and looking at yourself, looking at your beliefs. If there's any heavy emotions that you've been carrying, dealing with that, maybe going to a professional, a therapist, or an energy healer or spiritual guide. Really good time for you guys to be doing healing work. And it is a blessing. It may sound weird for me to say, but this Venus Cazimi blessing of your shadow side coming forward, something being revealed from your shadow side to be released. So really interesting for you all. And I do want to mention as well that we're going to have a Sun opposition to Saturn on August 27th and the days around that week. And Saturn is your planetary ruler. So you're probably, Cappy's going to be feeling more tired, maybe stressed out or hard on yourself around this date. So I just feeling to say, be gentle with yourself. End of August, especially with that full moon in Pisces, right, Julie, that's going to be conjunct Saturn. So I think Capricorns can really be feeling that a lot.
Yeah, and we have a question regarding a Capricorn rising. So Gail, thank you. She's asking for her cataract surgery the last 2 weeks this month. So I'm not sure exactly what are the dates we're going to talk about. She's
Mhm.
an Aquarius sun, a Capricorn rising, a Pisces moon. So if it's close to, well, my opinion, and let me know, Meg, what you think. If it's close to the Venus Cazimi, which is on August 13 and like plus minus August 13, so mid-August would be good in my opinion, because the 8th house rules surgery in astrology. So Venus Cazimi with the sun, so that might be really good, and especially Leo, the sign of eyesight. So I think that would be a good, if I don't know if you are able to direct it towards more those dates, but that would be a better date. Because then after, as you were talking, Meg, we have the sun moving into an opposition with Saturn, and then we have the full moon in Pisces. What are your thoughts if we get closer to towards the end of the month with that surgery?
I totally agree with you. I was going to say the exact same thing. I like much more mid-August for you, Gail, for the surgery rather than the last 2 weeks. And I'm sorry if you've made plans for that already, but I would even advise to maybe put that off. If you do have a date for the last 2 weeks, wait until maybe after first week of September, September 15th, if possible, because it's, full moon in Pisces, like Julie said, sun opposite Saturn. You are a Capricorn rising, so you're ruled by Saturn. That's your chart ruler. And Scorpio rules surgery, it's one of the signs that rules surgery. So that Cazimi is blessing everything that Scorpio rules in life happening in your 8th house. So mid-August would be a very good time if possible. But yeah, so no worries though. We can always put something off if possible.
Yeah.
Better to do that.
Saturn, when it's harshly aspected, it will be towards more the end of the month, can mean let's say a longer time to recover, a longer recovery, or also having to redo something. So that's not something we would wish for you. So hope it helps, Gail. Let us know if that makes sense. And
Gail
yes,
says, sorry, Gail says, thank you. I can alter it. So yes,
okay.
alter it. Awesome.
Or like as we said, mid-August looks good if that's a good date for you too.
Mhm.
Awesome. So let's move to the sign of Aquarius, our amazing Aquarius babies.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a very powerful month for Aquarius because we're starting the month off with a bang. Today, full super moon in Aquarius. And throughout the month, Julie, did you notice there's a lot of Uranian, Aquarian things going
Yeah.
on? Uranus doing really intense aspects. I think the new moon in Leo was at an
Yeah.
Aquarius degree. Like there's all this Aquarian. So you guys are being very activated and worked with cosmically at the moment. Today, around the full moon in Aquarius, is very empowering and enlightening time for you, Aquariuses. The Mercury retrograde is happening in your 8th house. Okay. So this is about reviewing and reflecting on everything Scorpio and the 8th house rules in life, your shadow side, merging with others. It's normal if you're feeling out of nowhere more emotional, moody, or obsessive, which I know can be really kind of opposite to Aquarians because they can be very open-minded, a lot more lighter than Scorpios usually in a lot of ways. So if you're feeling those Scorpio emotions, it's normal because the Mercury retrograde is happening in your 8th house of Scorpio. Like the Capricorns, I think this is a very good time to do some healing or therapeutic work, honoring your emotions and your hidden self. And I heard Spirit say while I was making the notes, what we resist persists. Okay,
Mm.
so maybe that'll resonate with you. Maybe it won't, but I was hearing that very strong. What we resist, Aquarius, persists. So very good time to be doing some inner work, some self-reflection, looking at your shadow side. And is there anything your shadow wants to bring to attention at this time? I would say review any investments because the 8th house rules investments and hidden money, but don't make any big new investments decisions out of nowhere. Like if all of a sudden some new crypto or some new thing comes out during the Mercury retrograde, hold off, wait a minute. It is like not the best time for you to do that. So that's you guys for the Mercury retrograde. And the Sun conjunct Venus cazimi is happening in your 7th house, the house of Libra and love. And this is Venus's house. So this Venus cazimi is happening for you in her home house. Blessings of love and professional relationships. So this is positive developments in love if you honor the uniqueness of yourself and your partner, because we're going to be having Venus square Uranus. When is that happening exactly, Julie? I forgot.
Venus square Uranus. Let me look at my at my date. I'll come back to you.
I have August 9th. So that
yeah. might be it. Yeah, totally right. August 9th.
Yeah. So around that time, that's going to be interesting for all of us. There's going to be things coming up in a lot of our relationships where I feel like we're all being invited to honor each other's uniqueness. Uranus rules uniqueness in square, a little bit of a creative tension to Venus, love relationships. So it's important for you to honor what you like in relationships, Aquarius. There could be a new partner coming forward, or you meet somebody new. And it is a Venus retrograde, so maybe just do some dating, take some time. Don't make anything super official. I would go very slowly with anybody new. But I think for Aquariuses, and I'd like to hear what you think, Julie, they could meet someone new that's very positive.
Yeah, I agree with you. And especially Venus retrograde can also rule people coming back from the past, or it can mean also having karmic ties with people from past lives. So you could meet those people also in your life. Or if you're in a relationship, it can mean also a change in dynamic with that Venus retrograde. So having to relook at your expectations of relationship, how can you show up? How does your partner show up? So all that stuff. Yeah, I think you are right on point, Meg.
For sure. And I feel like Aquarians are being invited this month with the Mercury retrograde in the 8th house and cazimi in the 7th house to open up to experiencing great love and intimacy with others. Because one of the things about Aquarius is they do rule groups of people and networking and friendship, but it also rules isolation and being detached, right? So Aquarius says this is a really beautiful month for you to open up to deeper intimacy with others and revealing yourself and your emotions with others as well. So very cool time for you guys.
I love it. And now let's switch to our final zodiac sign for today, the much loved Pisces.
Pisces.
Here we are.
Yeah, the magical creatures of the zodiac, as I like to call you guys.
The mermaids and mermans.
Mermaids, yeah. So this is interesting because we're having that really intense full moon in Pisces on August 30th. So this is your magical full moon of the year. I feel like your intuition is going to be on fire, and it's a beautiful time of doing some dream work, meditation, and anything spiritual or creative. Yes, we are having the Saturn conjunct the full moon. So I do think there's some kind of important reality check to take in, Pisces, during this full moon that can maybe come in while doing meditation or some kind of spiritual work. So being aware of the practical reality around you, what is being revealed, if there's something important to take stock of or take in during that full moon, for sure. But I do think it's magical for you guys. You could be feeling more emotional because it is the 3rd lunation of the month and it's in your full moon sign. But I do think it can be a very spiritual time for you guys. And the Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 7th house, the house of Libra, love and professional relationships and clients. So it's important for you to reflect on those areas. Okay, there can be things being revealed to you during the Mercury retrograde about your love or professional relationships. There's more likely to be, for you Pisces, issues coming up in that regard. So you want to make sure you're aware of your values and your needs, and that your relationships are in alignment with those values and needs, and that you're communicating clearly. Okay, even though you're beautiful, magical creatures and very sensitive, you want to be honored and in your values and needs, and not sacrificing yourself out to others, because Pisces can rule self-sacrifice. So that could be coming up for you guys. seeing maybe where you're giving away your energy too much or sacrificing yourself with others. And the Sun conjunct Venus Cazimi is happening in your 6th house. So this is blessings of positive new health choices, routines that are in alignment for you, and blessings in your day-to-day work life and your office space. So that's cool because the house of Virgo is your opposite house. Virgo is your opposite sign. So I feel like that's going to be a very balancing time for you around August 13th, that exact Cazimi date, and that new moon in Leo. You can have some big personal health breakthroughs, practical breakthroughs, and in your work as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Meg. Let me know and let us know if it resonates with your sign, your rising sign. And I'm curious too, do you feel like the prediction that Meg just gave us, do you think it resonates more with your rising sign, your sun sign, or your moon sign? Let us know in the comments down below also. Would like to know. Because usually I feel like for me, both resonate. My rising sign and my sun sign usually really resonate. Wow, thank you so much. Yolanda says, awesome. Thank you, Meg. Yes, I agree. And you were amazing. Love you. And I love those predictions for the month of August.
Yay.
And Ocean Odell says, May Levy's activation are also so healing. Yes, I agree. I'm just going to share my screen for here. Here we are. So, of course, tomorrow, that's the Aquarius full moon singing bowl meditation. You can still register, of course. That's on beyondmystic.academy. And it's a sliding scale principle for an energy exchange to get all the healing back to you. So it's from 22 to 222. But if you're experiencing some kind of financial difficulty, don't be shy and send us an email. The address is on the website, on the Academy website. So that's academy@beyondmystic.net. And we'll make sure that you can attend this wonderful activation meditation. And also on the website, on the Academy's website, we have the chakra healing course from Milevy, and also the 2 activation from the Abundance and Manifestation series that she put up on the Academy. So really good during especially that Venus retrograde phase. If you feel like something resonates with you, if there's a work that you are being called by your guides to do, I feel like it's probably a super good time. And also, let me make sure I have the right slide. Here we are. If you'd like, those are general prediction, of course, for all the 12 zodiac signs. But if you'd like to get more personalized, a more personalized reading with Meg, you can do so on a one-on-one consultation. That's on MaisonJupiter.com, and she offers 2 different types of readings. So if you'd like to focus more on your birth chart and what it means and all the potential that's hidden in your birth chart, that will be this one right here, the birth chart astrology reading. And if you'd like to focus more on the predictions for the year ahead, so from the date that your reading is booked for until the year ahead. So you're going to be looking at the 1-year personal forecast reading. And did I mention everything? I think I did. And here we also have the personalized birth chart. If you'd like to begin your journey into astrology or gift it to someone, it's a digital art print in the color of your choice featuring your own personalized birth chart. So your own blueprint here for your incarnation here on Earth. And it also comes with a 15 to 20 pages report explaining your most important alignments and aspects between your planets. So let us know if you enjoyed this new format for the Astro Woo. Thank you so much, Rebecca. We appreciate your support as usual. Thank you so much. Wow, we did it, Meg.
We did it. Yay. That was fun.
Thank you. Rebecca says, I love my chart. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I love hearing about that. Yeah, so beautiful, beautiful month ahead. I think you have all the tools and the keys to make sure that you know how to navigate those energies in the best way possible for you. I'll try to put the timestamps on the video later today if I have time, so you can rewatch it and look at the beginning where we explain more of the general energies for everybody, all the lunations, the Mercury retrograde stuff, and then get into, of course, the 12 zodiac signs. So don't forget to tune in tonight, as we will be I'm having trouble with my with my tech skills today.
Yeah.
So as we will be there with my sister Sophie, pulling some cards and looking at this very potent full moon that we're experiencing here today. So great job, ladies. Thank you so much, Jill. Great Astro Woo, ladies. Thank you so much, Coco. Gail says, what a fabulous show. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for all your beautiful comments. And let us know in the comments below the video if you appreciate this new format, and also if you felt like which one resonated the most. I'd like to know sun, moon, or rising sign.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a final words of wisdom, final words of guidance for everybody watching, Meg?
I feel like you're all awesome. I love you all so much. Love you, Julie. And this has been so much fun. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And just keep rocking it. Keep being yourself. Put yourself out there. Remember the cards we got at the beginning of the show. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of things we're processing. But those of us that are conscious, light workers, star seeds, whatever you want to call yourself, we're here to be of service. A lot of us, and it doesn't matter what job you're in, we share that energy no matter what job you're in or whatever you're doing in life. So keep being awesome, be yourself, and you are loved and appreciated. And yeah, have an amazing August.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Meg. Thank you, everybody, and see you tonight on the Divine Feminine Oracle Show. Goodbye. Au revoir.